I couldn't pull off the win like before because she really ramped up her aggression and started taking more chances with her shots. So I wasn't that upset with my own performance. My only regret is not switching up my strategy sooner. It probably would have saved me a few future grey hairs or something. Laughter. Hey, look, you still walked away with a straight sets victory, which is fantastic. You made it to the second week in Australia and hit the semi-finals in the Middle East. But in a shocking twist, Coco Gauff, ranked number 4 in the world, has just come out and called Alex Eala the top player at Indian Wells after a surprising third-round loss to the 19-year-old. This upset has absolutely rocked the tennis world, and today we're breaking down exactly what happened. Now, for those of you who've been keeping up with the tournament, you already know that Coco Gauff came out of the gate firing. She completely dominated the first 2 games of the opening set. And for a minute there, it looked like Gauff was just going to cruise to another easy victory. I mean, it was only 2 weeks ago that Gauff had handled Eala pretty easily, so everyone was expecting a repeat performance. But then, as the match went on, the script completely flipped. Alex Eala started to turn the tide. Gauff, who looked untouchable at the start, suddenly found her back against the wall as Eala mounted an incredible comeback. It was clear that Eala had figured out how to adapt to the court's slow conditions. And as the match progressed, Eala just kept getting stronger, rising to the challenge. Gauff, who at first seemed poised to run away with the set, simply couldn't match Ayala's relentless pressure. And in the clutch moments, Eala elevated her game and dictated every single point. This wasn't just a simple victory. It was a masterful display that left the entire crowd stunned. That first set was just incredible to watch. After Gauff locked down the first 2 games of the set, she went on to lose every single game after that, dropping the set with a decisive 6-2 score. It was a jaw-dropping turnaround, showcasing Ayala's incredible grit and talent. Even seasoned tennis fans were blown away by Ayala's poise and her knack for flipping the match on its head. Just when Gauff seemed to find her footing, Eala would fire right back with an answer. It didn't matter if it was a clever shot, a quick strategic shift, or just her superior conditioning. Eala proved exactly why she is considered one of the most thrilling young stars in women's tennis right now. But the drama wasn't over yet. Eala kicked off the second set with that same dominant energy, grabbing 2 quick games and keeping all the momentum on her side. Music. But then the match came to an abrupt and dramatic halt when Gauff had to retire because of an injury. And even though Eala was clearly on track to win, that's never the way a player wants to take a victory. During her press conference after the match, Eala showed real concern for Gauff's health. She emphasized that winning like that wasn't what she wanted at all, and she wished Gauff a quick and easy recovery. It was a display of pure sportsmanship, and you could hear the sincerity in her voice when she talked about her opponent. Yeah, so to get back to your question, look, this is absolutely not how I wanted to win. But at the same time, this is still a huge moment for me. Getting the chance to play on Stadium 1 here at Indian Wells against an amazing competitor like her. I'm just incredibly grateful for this experience, and I'm just so happy right now. Yeah. What Eala did right after the match really tells you everything about her character and the deep respect she holds for her opponents. She had just pulled off one of the most significant victories of her entire career, but she wasn't focused on celebrating or showing off at all. No, her immediate concern was for Coco Gauff, an opponent she clearly looks up to. That kind of humility and class is exactly why fans all over the globe are drawn to her. This was just one more reason she's becoming such an incredible role model for young players everywhere. But don't let her sportsmanship overshadow her incredible performance out there. She's shown us over and over that she is a serious contender. After taking down Coco Gauff, Eala has now beaten 3 top 10 players. And what's mind-blowing is she isn't even ranked in the top 20 yet. Her numbers are absolutely unbelievable. And if she takes home the trophy here, you can bet her ranking is going to explode. She is quickly becoming a household name, and the buzz around her is just going to keep growing. It's not just the fans paying attention, though. The pundits are already labeling Eala as the future of women's tennis. Before this tournament even kicked off, the former American star Sam Querrey made a huge call saying Alex Eala would soon eclipse even Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka. And now, after that jaw-dropping victory against Gauff, it's becoming really difficult to disagree with him. You can see Ayala's confidence building, and what she's doing at Indian Wells just proves she's ready to claim her spot among the elite. So is she the #1 attraction in the women's game at this moment? Absolutely. Is she a bigger name than Sabalenka? Bigger than Coco, man, it's getting wild. She's creating the same kind of buzz that Faneka was on the men's tour last year down in Miami. It's similar to Fana, but honestly, I think this is even bigger. It really is. Yeah, I mean, the crowds for her in Doha were absolutely nuts. Sam Querrey also touched on the incredible spotlight Ayala is shining on tennis. In just her opening match here at Indian Wells, Ayala was responsible for over $5 million in ticket sales, which completely shattered the old attendance record. You just don't see that particularly from a player who's not even in the top 20. It's obvious Ayala is more than just an athlete. She's a phenomenon. Her explosion in popularity is sending shockwaves through the entire sport, and you better believe players like Gauff, Sabalenka and Pegula are all paying close attention. One of the biggest stories on the planet. Yeah, that's right. You absolutely have to keep an eye on her. Of course, because her skill is off the charts, but also just for the pure energy. You have to tune into her matches simply to experience what that atmosphere is like. You have to think there's maybe a little bit of jealousy coming from some of the other women on the tour. Here comes this girl, not even a top 10 player who's suddenly the biggest star in the game. Even Coco Gauff herself conceded that Alex Eala is playing the best tennis at Indian Wells. Gauff pointed out how the slower courts there really play to Ayala's strengths and complimented how well she adapted to the environment. In fact, Gauff flat out said that in these specific conditions, Ayala is the best. She specifically mentioned Ayala's speed in moving from one corner of the court to the other, which just speaks volumes about her incredible fitness and agility. Gauff also highlighted Ayala's tricky shots and her incredible speed at getting back into position, which she said makes her a really tough opponent to face. It gets super physical out here because the courts are so slow, the rallies are a bit longer, and, it's tough for me to hit a clean winner. So, it was probably just as tough for them to land a winner against me. So, you just have to be ready to play a bunch of awkward shots and get into a lot of long rallies. Comments like that from Coco Gauff tell you everything you need to know about Eala's growing reputation on the WTA Tour. Gauff, someone who has been a top-ranked player for years, is now going on record saying Eala has all the tools to be a future superstar. And she isn't the only one. Jessica Pegula, another one of the top players, has also pointed out that Eala is creating more buzz around the sport than pretty much anyone else right now. Pegula talked about her own match against Eala and how she was completely blown away by the atmosphere surrounding it. The crowd was massive and the energy was just electric. Pegula said she knew right from the first point that she was taking part in something truly historic. The vibe was so intense that Pegula called it insane, and in tennis, that's about the highest praise you can offer. Ayala's very presence at Indian Wells has been absolutely electrifying, and how she's playing on the court is just boosting her star power even more. With each match that passes, she's winning over more and more fans, and it's obvious that the sky is the limit for her. If she can keep this streak going and actually win the tournament, she'll go down in history. She wouldn't just be the first player to ever win the prestigious Indian Wells tournament on their debut, she'd also cement her status as one of the most exciting young talents in the entire world of tennis. And we can't overlook the historical weight of a potential victory like this. If Eala does manage to win Indian Wells, she would become the only player in history to win the tournament on their first attempt. That is a massive accomplishment, and it's the kind of thing that could rocket her into the top ranks of the WTA. Her victory over Gauff is already a huge achievement in itself, but winning it all at Indian Wells would be a complete game-changer for her career. So in the end, Coco Gauff's admission that Eala is the best player at Indian Wells says everything about the young Filipino's talent and potential. Eala has demonstrated again and again that she's ready for the main stage, and her win over Gauff is just the latest proof of her unbelievable skill. As she keeps climbing up the rankings and getting more and more attention, it is perfectly clear that Eala is a player you need to watch for years to come. So, you'll definitely want to stay tuned because this is only the beginning of what could turn into an incredible career. But what are your thoughts? Can Eala maintain her dominance at Indian Wells and become the first ever player to win the tournament on her debut? Is she going to be the future of women's tennis? Let us know what you think in the comments below. As always, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting updates. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time with more tennis coverage from the Indian Wells tournament.